I know this thing called love. This thing called love. Oh fuck, I forgot the lyrics. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. God damn it, I forgot the lyrics. Shout out to Smoke. Shout out to Smoke Diggler from Player. One thing a nigga gonna have for you is them lyrics. What he's gonna always have is some lyrics for your ass, man. Shout out to Smoke. Shout out to Smoke. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I know you guys. Well, I'm not gonna say it's gone viral, but I did find it interesting. But Akon, convict music himself, he just had an interview with the Shaderoom, which was actually very powerful. It was a very powerful interview. There's a lot of gems in there. And we are going to go over that because particularly what happened in that interview, Akon was talking about polygamy again, right? He came to the defense of Nick Cannon and how he has multiple women, how he has multiple kids with multiple women. And I really appreciated his point of view. And looking at the comments and the reactions to Akon's basically looking at the reactions to Akon's point of view tells me everything I need to know about American society. Tells me everything I need to know. But if you guys get the chance, please watch that full interview because I watched a full interview. But obviously, I'm just going to show you the part, the part where basically those last 20 to 25 minutes where he started talking about, not only did he start talking about polygamy, he started talking about female gender roles, what a man is supposed to do, what a woman's supposed to do, you know. I thought it was a very powerful interview. From my point of view, I thought that was a very powerful interview. It was a lot of things that was said. So right here, this is what we're gonna go over today.
Fathers doing that.
No, we're gonna get right at the part because this popped out of nowhere. I'm not gonna say it's popped out of nowhere. This popped. The interview really started popping off with the polygamy stuff when she mentioned the Nights Like This tour with Neo. So Neo came up and Neo has his situation. He's open about his polygamy, his polygamous situation. So she tried to say that, hey, you and Neo decided to tour together because Neo was catching flack. But this was very interesting, man. Very interesting. Here we go. So that's that part. That's the part that we're gonna get at.
That's my brother from another mother.
Right, and then you guys start talking about music, and then the tour happens.
It just so happened that way. What's crazy? That could have been a crazy probability, though. I can't see past that not happening, though.
Yeah. Have you guys talked about it?
Oh yeah, we talk all the time.
And so, what's your perspective on that? Because you come from a culture that it's normalized to have multiple.
It's tradition. Yeah.
It's tradition to have multiple wives, or even polygamy. And in the American culture, it's not.
Yes, it's not as accepted.
It's not as accepted, but he's living that lifestyle now.
Right.
So, like, what are your thoughts
honestly,
on that?
I applaud him for doing it because he's doing what a lot of guys wish and would want to do. They just don't have the balls, to be honest, with the girls that they're dealing with.
Yeah.
Because every dude, think about it. They got their main chick, then they got their side chick, then they got their little jump off. And it's very few that's actually faithful. Like, I'm completely. So obviously, we've gone over stuff like this. Corey Holcomb has talked about stuff like this. He said it in another way. We all fuck hoes, right? And that has gotten him in a lot of trouble just for saying that. So much has gone wrong for Corey just from that statement alone.
And by the way, I agree with these men's I don't know. But I do agree with their sentiments, right? I agree with their position. And I see where they're coming from for the most part. I guess that would be a better way to say I see where they're coming from. Pyro say, what the bumbleclock are you live streaming for? I know this is a bit of a weird time that I'm doing it. But some changes are going to be happening to this channel in terms of when I'm streaming, when I start streaming. Started moving some things around. You might see me do more. You're gonna see me do more earlier and earlier live streams. And more just live streams in general, more than the episodes, because I haven't really been dropping videos lately. I've been doing more live streams, and I think I'm gonna keep it that way. Because I don't want to feel I don't want to really just be just repeating myself. I don't want to be just putting things out there and it's just, a woman engagement baiting on TikTok. A lot of these hoes, that's why I don't do a lot of the stuff. So like people will send me things and I'm like, oh, this is engagement bait. If you see a skit like on Facebook and you see a caption on the video, it's a skit for the most part. Right. So people will send me stuff like that and I'm like, I don't feel like. So I'm very selective on the videos that I want to review. So I'm gonna be focused, like I'm really gonna try to stay focused on the stuff that I find interesting. So that's why we're doing like the Akon interview, because I find this interesting. And I think there's a big connection between this and the overall message I want to put out there. Right. But this is what we will go over. We will go over these last 20 minutes of the Akon interview with the Shaderoom. We will go over these last 20 minutes. I do find the normies reaction, particularly the men. Yeah. I wish men would understand that it really doesn't matter that you disagree with Akon. They're just going to take what Akon says and they're going to put that on all men. Oh, you see, all men aren't faithful and all this nonsense. And you going out your way to say, oh, no. It's that's just him. It doesn't matter. Women are going to project that reality onto all men while simultaneously only sleeping with men that have the same mentality as Akon. You can't make this stuff up. So this is why I try to tell dudes, don't go out your way to try to shit on a Neo, shit on a Nick Cannon and an Akon, etc. There's no reason for men to be going out their way to diss their lifestyle of having multiple women. There's no reason for you to do that. The women that are in their situations with those men, they chose to be in that situation. Why that goes for the women. Why are they mad at Nick Cannon situation? Why are they mad at Nick Cannon specifically, especially since they were honest about who they were in the beginning? So we also, in that interview with Akon dives into that. It's like, why are people mad at Nick Cannon specifically? Like his life is not affecting your life. It's interesting. But a lot of the dudes that are trying to go out their way and I'm not like Akon, I'm not like those guys, that don't matter. That don't matter. They're just going to say, oh, all guys are doing it, but at the same time sleeping with guys that do this. Now, we need to go into something else before we get into, the main stuff. We need to go into something else that was very interesting. Oh man. Let me see if I can bring up a picture of these people. Let me see if I can bring up a picture of some of these people here. Because I think, let me see. Is this it? Oh, no, that's not it. That's not it. I want to show a picture of Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini. Because there's an interesting development that happened in this story, right? I think something very interesting happened. There was a woman that came forward and reprimanded Diana Rossini for doing what she was doing, right? And I'm trying to see if I can get the female's name. I'm trying to see if I can get her name, because I think this is very important to highlight. Let me see if I can bring it up. Let me see if I can bring up the article. Let me see if I can find the other female reporter's name. Called out. Let me see if I. Oh shit. Let me see. No, not Jamel Hill. Not Jamel Hill. There was one, it was a female reporter that got fired for calling out Diana Rossini for being a hoe. And I don't know why can I can't find her name. Isn't her name Amanda or something? Oh man. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Diana Rossini fired or something. Oh, they just showed the picture. Why did I miss it? Here we go. NFL reporter fired after slamming Diana Rossini over Mike Vrabel's the situation with Mike Vrabel photo scandal, right? So we have this female right here in the middle. She calls out Diana Rossini for making women look bad. She was the only woman that had the guts to come forward. And she got fired for saying this. It was hilarious. I was laughing so hard. This was some funny stuff. Let me read this though. NFL reporter Chrissy Freud was fired from her contract with USA Today after publicly celebrating Diana Rossini's resignation from The Athletic in the wake of her photos with New England Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel. Freud, a contractor with USA Today, slammed Rossini on X after the Athletic reporter announced her resignation on Tuesday, calling her a detriment to women in sports. Facts. This is some interesting stuff. 2 days later, USA Today announced they were firing Freud. Isn't that interesting? So USA Today Sports has ended its contractor relationship with Chrissy Freud effective immediately. Her recent statements do not reflect our commitment to professionalism or uphold our principles of ethical conduct, the outlet said in a statement on X Thursday, April 16. Now, I hope here's the interesting part. Okay. All right, here we go. So they're going to, let's show the Twitter post that got Chrissy Freud fired. Let's share this, right? So this was right after Diana Rossini shared her resignation letter to the Twitter world. And Chrissy Freud said, "I'm sure you were told to submit this or or that you'd get fired instead. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. We know who you really are and what you've been up to for years. It does so much detriment to women in sports who have done things the right way. This is some interesting stuff, because here she is, standing on righteousness, whether you think it's fake, whether you think she's just virtue signaling. You would think that women would come forward and be like, look, the way she's doing business, that's not the way we want to be portrayed. So you would think that other women would back her up. No. You would think the establishment would back her up. Nope. She gets fired by the establishment. This is very interesting stuff. So watch this. Watch this. Let me show you something else. Michelle Beadle reaction to Diana Rossini. Okay. Now, if the people that might not know, right? Michelle Beadle, she's a former female sports reporter herself. Let me pause this. She sends a scathing warning to female sports people criticizing Diana Rossini over Mike Vrabel picks. So let's see what Michelle Beadle says. So she said this a few days before Chrissy Freud came forward with her statement. So this was before Chrissy Freud made her statement. So this is very interesting. She said, what I find interesting is a number of female sports people who have felt very comfortable in getting out there and blasting specifically her. Ladies, at some point, I will write a book, and the more I see you yapping out there about all this high and mighty self-righteous, I know a lot about you, so be careful. This is some interesting stuff. So all the people that are defending Diana Rossini has kind of come at that same angle where they're saying that, oh, don't be acting self-righteous because a lot of y'all are doing the same thing. So in conclusion, this is what I have to say in conclusion. This is what I have to say in conclusion to all of this. This is look at the conclusion to all of this. So basically, all along, the female reporters have been doing exactly what we thought they were doing the whole time. So the whole time they were sleeping with people for stories. And when men called out the obvious, we were called misogynists. But now women are being discouraged for calling out Diana Rossini for being a thought. And the way that they're defending Diana Rossini is them saying, all of y'all are doing the same thing as she's doing. Do you guys see the sickness? Do you guys see? I'm just sitting there like, wait a minute. So I get called putting all females in a box for saying female journalists, they're not there for sports. They're there to get chose. They're in there trying to sleep with people for stories and quotes and insider stories. They getting fucked for stories and picking favorites. You bash the people. You're sleeping with coaches and then bashing certain players so your sleep partner can get a player on the cheap. We're looking at the obvious and we're seeing what these female reporters are doing. And then when you call it out, they say you have no respect for women. They say you're a misogynist. Hell, we literally had a female journalist talk about how my channel, I don't respect female journalists and all this stuff. And just because I said most female journalists are out here are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And lo and behold, this is what they're doing the whole time. Doing exactly what I thought. Sleeping their way to the top, or sleeping their way to get some stories, sleeping their way to get what they want. So you've been doing everything that we thought anyways. But people would get fired, people would get mad. Rob Parker would make a couple of jokes, he gets in trouble. I'm talking about, it's not just only Michelle Beadle basically exposing the game, saying, oh, I'm going to write a tell-all book about what y'all women have been doing, so you guys don't have no right to say anything about Diana Rossini. So you're saying that most of these female reporters are hoes, so you get to slut shame because you want to defend your friend Diana Rossini. But when I say, oh, these female reporters, they out here on some nonsense. I know what they're doing. Oh, you don't see these female reporters as human. What, you think they can't be objective? You think they can't do their job? No, they cannot. And you guys are exposing it. They can't. Now, I'd be fine if you guys were just honest about it. But it's interesting now that Diana Rossini is in trouble for being a hoe. Their defense of her, men and women, is them saying, oh, we have no right to judge because we know a lot of other people are doing the same thing as she's doing. Huh? What kind of defense is that? And then they got the nerves to call people misogynists. they got the nerve. This bitch, Chrissy Freud, loses her job for saying the obvious. And you have women afraid to come forward because they were doing the exact same thing as Diana Rossini. And then the women that have the guts to come forward to call her out, they get fired. This is crazy. these niggas is, thank you, Pyro. He said these people are hilarious. I'm like, how do you explain this? This is some funny ass stuff right here. So Chrissy Freud gets fired for saying what everybody's been thinking, especially from the men's point of view. Every man's thinking it. They just can't say it. And then the people that have come to the defense of Diana Rossini are basically saying nobody has the right to come forward because they're all doing it. What's this talk about? Women are afraid to come forward because of power dynamics and this is why they're afraid. And here we are. When it's come, everybody's on CYA mode, and that stands for covering your ass mode, right? Now everybody's snitching on each other and confirming what I already said. What's the bitch's name that was on talking crazy about my channel? Oh, you don't think beautiful women could be journalists? Bitch, I didn't say that. I said most of these female journalists can't be are not doing their job. They out here clout chasing, using their sexuality to get ahead. I know what I'm seeing. Stop acting like we're crazy for literally observing the obvious. They're doing it right in front of your face. You'll be at your job, and you'll have a couple that's just aggressively flirting with each other right in front of your face, and you know what they're doing. You know what they're doing. They're just doing it right in front of you in plain, hiding in plain sight. And then when you say the obvious, you get in trouble with HR or you get in trouble with somebody. Oh no, don't say that. You don't know, or you'll say the obvious, and then they'll say that, oh, you just think men and women can't be friends. Don't. This shit is crazy. This reminds me of, when 50 Cent would call Diddy gay and shit. Remember when 50 Cent used to call out Diddy for being a fag? And people would get so mad. I mean, like this is ridiculous. Hold on for a second, guys. I'm gonna come right back. Give me 5 minutes to take this phone call real quick. Give me Here we go. We're right back. We're right back. We're right back. Let me see. He says, these people be hilarious. He says, that means if dude said it instead of her, they would have gotten super blacklisted and say he's a part of the toxic manosphere and follow Fresh and Fit and Andrew Tate. He said, these people are something else. These people will look in the morning sky in the 9 and they will get mad at you and say it's midnight. Yeah, that's just the situation that we're in. It's this is why me personally, I think debating with these people, talking about relationships and what men and women need to do is basically pointless. At this in 2026 it's pointless. Because as a man, you basically can't say anything. And let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. A lot of these dudes are dirty themselves. So it's a lot of dudes out here that they slept with Diana Rossini, or they know of somebody that benefited from sleeping with Diana Rossini to get, their way, in some certain way. They benefit from Diana Rossini being a hoe. So they're just like, well, we can't completely trash her. It almost reminds me of this is something that, the feminists, they don't understand, that their so-called male allies or the men that are just agreeing with them, they're not really for you like that, right? I always bring the example of when I did co-ed soccer. The 2 teams that I played with, trash. Females on my team were trash. Yet literally every other team that we faced, the females were way better than the females that we had. There was one game where we needed a female. We needed to recruit a female because we were down a couple. And when you're on the field, there needs to be at least 2 or 3 females on the field at one time, right? They asked, hey, do you guys know any females now the first person I thought was a female relative of mine, but she was just not in state, right? So I couldn't call her. So what I did it the old fashioned way. I went on Facebook. I went on the club soccer, free agency thing. And I was just looking for which female I could DM so I can have them come to the facility to fill in for us. And I was looking for the best possible female that I could find. And lo and behold, these motherfuckers bought bitches that like the other teammates, they brought the bitch substitutes that they brought were trash, like people that could not play. And I'm like, where did you find these bitches from? Meanwhile, I found like the best player. I happen to find the best, the Mr. Misogynist himself, Chris Mike. I happen to find the best. Not only was she the best female on the pitch, she was the best player on the field. Period. I just saw on the profile it said this: I'm only here for Christmas break, and then I'm going to leave back to my D1 soccer school. I'm just looking for some exercise while I'm back in state. She said she was like, well, I'm 20. She said, I'm 21 years old. I'm just looking to just stay in shape. So anybody looking for a spot? She said I was the only person that DM'd her. I'm like, so how did the other bitches get DMs? This bitch says she plays D1 soccer at, I'm not going to say the school's name. When I saw that, I was like, I said, please play with us. So I'm like, so nobody gave you a DM. I don't care if you're on the bench. The school that she named, if you could be the 23rd player on that team. If you make that team, you must be pretty good. But nobody want to get the DM. Nobody wanted the DM. And me personally, I think she accepted the invitation because I didn't use that as an opportunity to hit on her or ask her out or do anything slick. I just said, we need this. Could you please help us with that? All you need to do is bring this. You don't have to pay anything because you're just going to come in and you'll be fine. Because I remember telling my brother this and he was like, oh, I think that's why she showed up, because you didn't even hit on her. And I remember thinking back, I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. I was like, yeah. And then on top of that, she was only there temporarily because she said she was going to move back to her state because she's staying on campus at the soccer where she's playing soccer at. I'm like, so how come I always wanted to ask her why nobody else gave you a message. But everybody else got a message, or they call some bitch at their job that they trying to fuck. That's really what it is. This is why people are afraid to call out certain things, because everybody's on some slick timing, including these dudes that will call you a misogynist. Do I have that picture on my YouTube? These hoe ass niggas. Let me bring it. Do I still got that community post? Because these people are slick, men and women. Everybody's being slick. Watch this. Let me share that tab with you. I put this post. This is one of my favorite posts, right? This is what most of these dudes are doing as a dating strategy nowadays. You see this picture right here? Can I put it at full screen? No, I can't put it at full screen. You see him saying, haha, you damn incel, clearly you can't get laid, and this is why you made this post, and you are misogynist because of it. And then in the back of his mind, he's saying, hopefully one of these ladies on this post will add me and give me some punani. I am tired of being a virgin. So far, this hasn't worked, but someday it will. And his shirt, it says not an incel. This is what most of these dudes' dating strategy is. So they will add a bitch. They will have a bitch. They will let their co-ed soccer team suffer because they add in bitches that cannot play. And instead of being honest and be like, look, we need something different. We need something different. Instead of being honest, okay, we need something different. They'll have this bitch on there that they're trying to fuck and let her be on the team. Meanwhile, you're just trying to get on her good side. So when she divorces or she breaks up with her so-called abusive ex, you're right there to pick up the pieces. I hate these dudes out here, bro. This is what people are doing. This is why other dudes are afraid to even cover this. You have dudes now, dudes that I respect. They were mad at the bitch. They were mad at Chrissy Freud for slamming Diana Rossini. And I'm like, why are you mad at her for doing the right thing? And I'm talking about their defense was like, hey, you might have something in your... Okay, yes, we're all dirty. Yes, duh, we're all dirty. But with that being said, so why are we covering athletes when they do dirt? When athletes get caught doing dirt, why don't we have that same energy? No, athlete messes up. Lamar Jackson literally does he records himself doing an Instagram video going over the speed limit. It was a fucking story. But we're afraid to call out this. And the gaslighting that the media has done with this story. where, oh, you guys are worried about somebody's privacy in the bedroom and that's none of our business. No, this is all of our business, because it's not just about the sex. It's about it's about conflict of interest. You have a top NFL head coach fucking a prominent NFL insider. And meanwhile, you have that same NFL insider planting stories which would help the Patriots. All these stories coming out from this one female reporter, coming from Diana Rossini. Oh, AJ Brown's he's upset with the team. He's upset. He wants to leave. Meanwhile, people are like, what the why is she only reporting on this? Now people have to call into question, was Vrabel just using this bitch to plant stories so he can get AJ Brown on a trade for cheap? That's why we're covering this. Oh, this ain't none of our business. No, this is all of our business. Absolutely it is. The gaslighting from the media, it pisses me off to a level where it like stuff like this be ruining my day at times. like for real. And a lot of these dudes, they're just as responsible as these 304s out here. Yeah, the performative pose. Yeah, this right. I wish I saved this picture, because this is what dudes is doing nowadays. They think they're funny. Sorry, they think they're slick, and we know exactly what they're doing. Do you see these manosphere losers? I'm like, nigga, who the fuck you trying to impress? Who you trying to impress? Who you trying to impress? Got these other hoe ass niggas too. Man, we gotta stop anytime any news that come out that make women look bad. Man, we gotta stop this gender war stuff. Nigga, there is no gender war. Because niggas like you exist, there is no gender war. Not an incel t-shirt. I gotta save this picture though, because I think it's funny. This is what most of these dudes are doing nowadays. Oh, this is none of our business. What? Boy. But anyways, before I get triggered, let me leave that alone. I just wanted to cover it. Chrissy Freud, I don't know who you are. Maybe she's virtue signaling. Maybe she's doing this. Maybe she's doing, I don't know. But frankly, in this situation, I don't care, because I find it crazy that she got fired for literally saying you need to have integrity. And when you're a journalist, and you have other journalists covering for Rossini, and other people covering for Rossini saying that other female reporters are doing the same thing. Meanwhile, when I said that female reporters are just sleeping with athletes just to get stories, sleeping with coaches, etc. Oh, I don't take them seriously, and something's wrong with me. They will literally act like something is wrong. They will put that shit in your subconscious. It's evil stuff. This is some evil stuff when somebody's gaslighting you, and then they'll say, you need help, you need counseling. Well, what happened? This is evil. Because depending on who you are, depending on what kind of mindset you have, that could really affect you when somebody say, oh, I think you need help. Oh, you look at women in a weird way. It'll make you doubt yourself sometimes. Oh, maybe I'm not. Maybe. Nah. These people are evil. Absolutely evil people. Demons. Anyways, we know exactly who y'all are. We know exactly who you guys are. And the next time I call a bitch, stop acting like I'm crazy for saying it. Stop acting like I'm just making shit up out here. And notice, let's bring up a picture of Diana Rossini, right? This bitch. Let's bring up a picture of Diana Rossini. Where would you rate? Let me see if I can bring up a decent picture of Diana Rossini. Because Diana Rossini, she be looking crazy. This bitch. Diana Rossini, let's start digging in. Where would you rate Diana Rossini looks wise? Let me bring up a picture of her. Open image, a new tab. Okay. Let me bring up this picture. Share screen. Boom, boom, boom. Let's bring up this picture. Where would you rate Diana Rossini from 0 through 10? Where would you rate her? Right? I would rate her a strong 5. She looks like she's in her 40s, right? Typical. This is the average. This is the average like white woman look right here. This is the average older white woman look. You know, the older white woman that does Pilates, that stays in a little bit of shape. This is as good as they're gonna look at a certain age. That's as good as they're gonna look. Right. So this is a strong. This is a 5 out of 10. Regular 5 out of 10 white woman. Some will even say 4 out of 10 white women right there. Older white women. Let me look up her age. Diana Rossini age. Yep, 43 years old. Exactly. Exactly what I thought. I'm like, she looks like she's in her 40s. Yep, 43 years old. Average 43-year-old white woman. That's how the average 43-year-old white woman is going to look. That's as good as it's going to get for a 43-year-old white woman. And this is a regular 5 out of 10. And look how she's moving. This is what I've been warning people about. Oh, if you need to avoid, don't get the 9 out of 10s. Don't get you a 10. You need to get you a 6 or 5 or 4. Guys, when it comes to picking your woman, or you don't think because the bitch is a 6 or she's a 5 or a 4 that she's gonna be humble. Right? And then I also tell dudes, just because she matches what you're looking for looks wise, don't overlook the red flags. Either way, whether it comes to picking a 6 out of 10, a 5 out of 10, a 9 out of 10, don't let her looks has literally nothing to do with her character or whether or not she's going to cheat on you or whether or not she's going to be a 304. Her looks has 0 to do with it. Literally has 0 to do with it. Oh, the bitch a 5, so she's not gonna have attention. No, the 5s and 6s get the most approaches because they're regular. This is why even nowadays fat bitches get approached more than anybody, because everybody sees them as a layup, so they try to get a layup. This is why their worldview is all fucked up. They're like, I'm getting all these ninjas, but nobody's committing to me. Of course they're not, because you're 3, you're 4. And then the dudes that would take you seriously, you think they're beneath you because you're still getting attention from the 8 out of 10 guys, the 7 out of 10 guys. So when you have a regular looking bitch like a Diana Rossini that's around the athletes, around the coaches, these are literally the titans of our society physically. She's never going to look at the average Joe She's just not going to look at them with respect. When you're dating a female reporter, especially in terms of a female reporter that covers sports, how could you marry a bitch that does that? How? She's never going to respect you. She's literally around the physically of the fittest, the physically of the best. I don't care how old that bitch is. I don't care how ugly you think she is, or if she has integrity. She's not gonna look at you. Women are women, bro. You can't change who they are. Women are women. They're just not gonna look at you the same. Just it is what it is. Oh my God. See some of these comments here. He says 4.5 out of 10. Yeah, I'd agree with that too. I'd lean towards that 4.5 out of 10. He said she looks 50. She do look 50 because she's hiding a lot of gray hairs. She, but at the same, like I try to tell people, white women are very expensive. I always say this: white women, they're great from ages 18 through like 22, but after the age of 24, 25-ish, it's just downhill from there, really downhill. And you're still I don't care how old the white woman is, you're always going to have to pay the most. She's always going to be the most expensive. Pyro says true. Once a woman date up, she's never going to have no respect for you. She doesn't even have to sleep with those athletes. Just her being around those athletes. How are they going to look at the average? They're not going to look at them the same. They allow especially they be allowing these female journalists in these male locker rooms. Those guys be naked in there too. They be naked in those locker rooms, and they just allow them in there. I'm talking about there's male athletes that complain about the female journalists being I'm like, they're like, why are they there? So shouldn't that show you the initiatives that these female journalists that cover sports, they're taking the initiatives to come into these locker rooms. They're not being sexually harassed and people are forcing. No. Because I bet you all a female reporter has to do to earn like a legit respect from some of these guys, all they have to do is, hey, I don't want to come into locker rooms. I want to respect your privacy. Can you give me a quote after you're done changing? I'll wait however long I need to. They would be like, oh damn, we finally found the one female reporter that ain't thirsty. I didn't see these female journalists will be all up in the locker rooms. I remember there was this one female journalist that was literally right in between the male athlete's legs. And he was just like, can this bitch back up? This shit where we be acting like motherfuckers is predators out here. No, these female journalists be thirsty as hell. Shout out to King Pick 6 in the chat. Salute. But that gaslighting shit, that pisses me off to no one, because I know exactly what they're doing. And then when I say it, because they could just ignore me, right? They could just ignore me. That's all they have to do if they don't agree. They can just ignore me. But they're gonna go out their way to act like something is wrong with me or something is wrong with you. You don't look at women as what? I'm not. When did I say that? Oh, you don't look at women as human. You don't think they can do the job. I'm gonna just start doubling down too. I'm just gonna be like, yep. That's exactly what I think women can't do their job. Nope. I'm gonna just start doubling down because the gaslighting is crazy. Like they know that you're spot on, and instead of just taking their L and just going away, they're gonna go out their way to plant doubt in your head. They will dirty up your name to other people knowing there's nothing wrong with you. It's wild. Oh yeah, and by the way, whoever her husband is, was it Kevin Goldschmidt? You better do some DNA tests on these two little gremlins that you got in your hands. Respectfully, you better do some DNA tests. But anyways, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone. Watch this. Watch this, man. Let me bring up something else. Man, people are funny though. People are funny. Because they'll act like you had this whole female journalist twisting my words, going out their way. Oh, something is wrong with these men that think that way. They're just manosphere and they're bruh, stop. We got you spot on. If it don't apply, let it fly. But it clearly does. It applies to you. This is some very interesting stuff I'm about to show you right here. Watch this. So I'm going to share a story with you. Here says Miami woman, so that you already know is going to be crazy. It says Miami woman arrested for allegedly slapping her 12-year-old son, striking him with a bottle, and trying to cut him with her car keys after he suspected her of cheating and told his stepfather. Now, imagine how much of a dirtbag of a woman you have to be for your own kid to snitch on you for cheating. And he tells his stepfather. That's not his biological father, his stepfather. You so bogus as a broad that he felt compelled to tell your cheating to the stepfather. That mean you gotta be the most bogus bitch in the world. Because like a lot of these stepkids, they be knowing that their mom is cheating. They don't even say anything. Hell, a lot of the biological kids, right, that have a husband and a wife situation with a mom and dad situation, and they will never tell the dad. They will never tell because they'll be like, damn, this is gonna break dad's heart so much. I can't even tell him. So here you have a 12-year-old boy. He's felt so convicted. He was like, man, I gotta tell my stepfather that my mom this the most bogus bitch on earth. And look at her response. She strikes him with a bottle and tries to cut him with her car keys. This is very interesting. Now watch this. I'm not going to read the details because this like they already summarized it. I want you to pay attention to the comments because I saw the comments yesterday and I was laughing. Here we have the first comment. He says, guarantee the stepfather treats him better than she does. Exactly. So when I saw the first comment, I thought it was going to be like one of those feel-good stories where, they finally caught the stepmother. Sorry, they finally caught the biological mom doing dirt, and the stepfather gets a win for once, right? That's what I thought the story was going to be. That, this guy is a good man. He doesn't deserve any of this, right? I thought that was going to happen. Nope, that's not what happened. All of the comments, damn near all of them, it was mostly women in the comments that were sitting there that said, "Oh man, this." they were basically, all of them were saying that he needs to stay in a child's place, right? So I was just like, this is crazy. This is wild work. King Pig 6 says, what's up with these new women, bro? Yeah, I don't know what's up with these hoes. Like I know women used to do this back then, but in today's age, they have something's wrong with them, right? Where they have a severe mental, like they have severe mental health issues, right? So I'm gonna show you more of these comments. Look at these comments. One woman, that is called stay in a child place. It is not a crime. Another woman, she says, I wonder why he's not staying in a child's place. Yes. And then somebody's finally saying, here you have another woman, because what's his problem? You have women in these comment sections. I'm scrolling down. I'm showing you. It's mostly women saying that he needs to stay in a child's place. So they're excusing her, basically attempting to kill her own kid. They're excusing her attempting to kill her own kid because she got caught cheating. It's wild. It's wild. Somebody, you have a woman here. She says, I'm shocked at these comments. I'm telling you, you need to have, especially when you're talking about marriage, you need to have a serious vetting, of serious vetting process when it comes to American women. That's just my opinion. I just don't. I think we're dealing with a breed of women where it's, I don't care who gets hurt. I don't care what happens. If you do not agree with me, you are a misogynist, and I don't care what happens to you. These guys, these are the same hoes that talk about victim blaming and you blaming the victim and you're condoning abuse. Meanwhile, they literally do not care that this whore tried to physically harm her child because the kid was going to quote unquote expose her. She had, I'm talking about, no care in the world. And it's, yeah, exactly. Most of the women on here that are defending her, they're saying that he needs to quote unquote stay in a child's place. If you that bogus where your child catches you cheating, and it's not like you just cheat. If he feels the need to tell his stepfather, because you know how kids be talking about their stepfathers behind closed, they be treating their stepfathers like shit. So if he feels the need to tell his stepfather, that means you beyond bogus. Because most dudes, they're not gonna tell their stepfather if their mom is cheating. Just letting you know right now. I'm talking about boys or girls, they're not gonna tell the stepfather. It's wild. But yeah, it was mostly women on here that were defending. But let's keep it a buck. It was mostly black women. Let's keep it was mostly black women that were in the comments defending the atrocities. You know, this is very interesting stuff, man. But this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with right now. And dudes are afraid. Dudes are afraid to say their opinions to women. Meanwhile, when something like this happens, they have no problems in throwing a 12-year-old boy under the bus because the boy is disturbing the mom's cheating process. This is the most peaceful gender. XVYJC says, imagine a man cutting his daughter because the daughter snitched on him cheating. Exactly. So, because I remember somebody had a comment that said the same thing. Like, imagine if a man literally said, oh. But they like I said, they don't care. They do not care. I'm telling you, they do not care. I told you the video I saw with Undead Chronic, where a boy was being watched by all female family members. He got hit by a car and died. He kicked the ball on the street, and that's why he got hit by the car. The car was going like 75 and a 35. And there was women in the comment section blaming the 5-year-old boy for kicking the ball on the street. None of the blame on the women for not watching him properly. I'm like, this. And they're going to call Undead Chronic racist for the stuff that he says. Meanwhile, he has more care for the black boy than these so-called black women. It's crazy. Crazy. Talking about, oh man, why did he kick the ball on the street? He's 5. He's 5. This is the stuff that kids be doing. Kids be doing stupid shit from time to time. It's a 5-year-old boy. He's playing outside, playing basketball, and then he just kicks the ball on the street. This is why you need somebody watching them, but they're too lazy to do that. You don't even need to be outside. All you got to do is be at the window. And if you see him trying to cross the street, you tap that window. Hey, don't cross that street. That's literally all you have to do. I used to see that all the time. Little boys try to cross the street, or they get a little bit too far from the house, and you hear somebody tapping on the window. You hear the grandma tapping. Hey, don't cross the street. But they especially today's moms, they're too lazy to do that. Too lazy to do that. But this is what we're living in. XVYJC says this isn't masculinity, but his point remains true based on this example. CGA said on his stream today that women hate masculinity unless a woman is masculine. Exactly. They'll call themselves an alpha female. They'll talk about how they're doing better than a man. But if a man is confident in his masculinity, confident in what he wants to do, confident in his dating preferences, that's a whole other story. They call that man toxic. Pyro says, man, you can know people don't understand kids. Yeah, it is what it is. Because I saw that story that Chronic put on there, and then I saw the actual Twitter thread, and I could not believe my eyes. You had women in there blaming the 5-year-old, saying, why did he kick the ball on the street? And I was just like, wow. And they will make you feel guilty for saying why you have these 16-year-old girls in a club drinking with older age men, and they will call you a predator defender. It'll be bitches that's 19 in there with fake IDs because you got to be 21 to drink. And I'll say, what are you doing? And they will call you a predator defender. They'll say that you're a predator yourself. But they're willing to justify the death of a 5-year-old boy just to avoid holding the 5 women tasked with watching a 5-year-old boy, just to avoid holding them accountable. He said, did YouTube get a big update or something? I have no idea. I would have to look into what's happening there. But I remember seeing that story, and I was just like, wow. This particular story of today with this woman. So, oh, man. Hold on. Let me look at my bookmarks. Oh, before we get into the Akon situation. So there's this thing on Twitter that I've seen this before on Twitter. I never knew it was a whole thing. There's a category with, X-rated pornography sites called Argentina casting, right? It's a category. And obviously the premise is they film real life, basically teenage old or like 18, 19, 20-year-old girls to do pornography. But they got to be from Argentina or something like that. By the way, 18 years old, that's teenage age, right? Teenage age goes from like what? 13 through 19. So 18 and 19, that's teenage. That's teenage ages, if that makes sense, right? So it's mostly 18, 19-year-olds that are doing this type of content. Now, apparently, the man that did these videos, that did the casting with these chicks, apparently he's getting arrested. They're saying that he's getting arrested for sex trafficking because the women the women that decided to do these porn videos, they got exposed. So a lot of them, they had boyfriends, they had husbands, and they were getting exposed because he was he had them on the casting couch, right? So they ended up arresting him for sex trafficking. I don't know why. It makes no sense. They consented to doing these videos, but because they got exposed via those videos, they now are arresting him for sex trafficking. And this is some very interesting stuff. So we got the picture right here of these broads. And I want you to take a look at these hoes right here. All Argentinian women, obviously, because this took place in Argentina, right? I want you to take a very close look at these women. Where would you rank these broads? Because I don't see any these are average. These are like the average day-to-day girl that you're gonna see. Most girls look like this. Like if you're walking down the street, if you live in an area full of 18, like if you live on a college campus, say if you lived on a college campus, you are a RA at a college campus, this is what most of the girls are going to look like, exactly like this. So I don't see like any like stunners on here. These are your average day-to-day broads that are doing this. Average. These are all average broads, right? These are all average broads doing this. I don't see a whole bunch of stunners in there. I just see regular, dateable, young females that college boys would have dated or asked out, right? That's what I see. So this should be concerning. This should be quite concerning. Because here you are, you're about to date this girl. You think you found a good girl, and meanwhile, she out here, she did pornography. She out here doing pornography. On the cheap. On the cheap. You're gonna have and I remember I told you I pushed up the timeline of what's gonna happen with these broads. They're gonna do pornography, they're gonna do OnlyFans, they're gonna do seeking, and when things don't work out, meaning they get exposed for doing it, or their boyfriend finds out, or they get engaged and their fiance finds out, they're going to get that person in trouble. They're going to sue him. They're going to file criminal charges because things did not go their way. So this is the future. We already start. I told you 2026, this is when this stuff is really going to start ramping up. You're going to have girls that did porn. They did it consensually. They did it OnlyFans consensually. And then they're going to file charges when they get exposed. Told you this is the future. This is the future. All women's rights was about is for them to be hoes, but them not suffer the consequences of being hoes. So if that means literally doing porn and then saying, I didn't like the outcome, I didn't like getting exposed, so I'm gonna sue you, I'm gonna say you're a sex trafficker. If it means doing that, that's what they're gonna do. I found she's such a good girl, man. I mean, I didn't know where I'm telling you, she's just not like these are bruh. Oh man, hey man. If I'm telling you, at first glance, most dudes would kill for these regular chicks. Mind you, all of these are all white chicks. All of these are white chicks. Because remember, these are all Argentinian women. These are all Italian or German, because in Argentina there's a lot of Italian mix, German mixed people over here, over there in Argentina. So these are white. These are all white women. You think you beat the game because you found one of these hoes? Nope. Oh man, ain't that interesting? Ain't that interesting? This is some funny stuff. But anyways, let's check some of these comments before I get into the Akon situation. Oh man. XVY Jay-Z says that's what R. Kelly was trying to clarify when he said when we're talking teenage, how old are we talking? Oh yeah, the normies kind of got on him for that. Because when he was saying teenage, how old we're talking, he was just talking about, does that include 18 and 19? Because 18 and 19, those are still classified as teenage, right? When I show you teenage pregnancies, they classified ages 13 through 19 as teenage years. You know what I mean? So even though 18 is an adult, 18 and 19 is still classified as teenage years. So that's what he was trying to say. It just came across as as it came across as creepy, because anytime if you're trying to ask for clarification on these things, you're going to be seen as the bad guy or the creep. Hell, if you're a dude yourself and you're over a certain age of 20 and you just have a 18-year-old girlfriend, they're going to say something. They're going to act like something's wrong with you, even though they used to be very common back then. Right? XVY Jay-Z says, so JUCO partakers can be at risk. Of course. Yes. Nobody's safe. There's no, particularly in America, you're not safe anymore, bro. Because they've already tried it with Deshaun Watson. They've tried it with a couple of other people where they literally pay for the service and then they can still sue you afterwards. You see it with the Shannon. I thought it was with the Shannon Sharp situation, but apparently he didn't even pay the bitch. So I'm like, okay, that doesn't count. Right? But you see it with these situations where these broads are selling pussy, and then once they're done selling punani, they act like they got taken advantage of and all this shit. Hold on for a second. Let me see something real quick. Gianfranco. Oh, I thought I recognized the name of something. Never mind. Let me leave that alone. But this is where we are. This is where we are. Pyro says, "Did you see the GIF I sent in the chat, or am I the only one that can see it? It probably got flagged, so I'm not sure. I would have to look into it manually. I'd have to let me look at my channel real quick." Let me look at my chat. The hell? Oh, here we go. So you say you dropped a GIF. I don't know. I don't see anything. It might have got flagged. I don't know. But anyways, let's go into Akon. Pause. Right? So he dropped an interview. And the whole interview was really a great interview. It was a great interview. But here he's going to start talking about polygamy. And the reason why I am very passionate about these type of topics is I want to highlight how men will go out their way to shame other men for having multiple women. But when women start doing the same thing, when they start practicing polygyny, they get praise from their fellow females. Even though they're living ass backwards, right? They get praise. Women are they are encouraged to have rosters, to have multiple men, to do multiple things. And men are they're too caught up in trying to impress women and trying to act like I'm not like these other guys, right? And you end up playing right into their hands. And you don't understand that women are actually most attracted to guys that can attract other women or that have other women. This is why Nick Cannon is in the situation that he's in. Future, etc. They'll never run out of hoes. Cam Newton, etc. Right? Leonardo DiCaprio, right? But anyways, hold on. Oh, never mind. That's not me. I heard a crazy sound. But anyways, let's play this right here.
It's tradition. Yeah.
It's tradition
right.
to have multiple. Worry about it. What?
But
I agree with this. Now, many men are afraid to say that they agree with this because it's going to get them in trouble. They're going to be seen as a misogynist. Oh, you just like, you're just Andrew Tate and all this stuff. Guys, don't fall for it. Men have gaslit themselves so much with this topic, so much so that men are like the number of men who are committed virgins is so sky high is ridiculous. It's not even supposed to be that way. Meanwhile, women are out there living their best life, getting ran through, getting trains ran on them. So much so by the time they hit like 23, they're already burnt out. They're burnt out by 23. And lo and behold, you thinking you finding your girl at a certain time. I've been faithful. I did things the right way, so I'm going to find a good girl. And now we have these dudes who are virgins ending up with girls that are the complete opposite. Getting ran through by guys like this and then telling you in your face, something's wrong with Akon. Something's wrong with Future. Something's wrong with these people. Yet they're getting rewarded the most.
Just hear me out. How many men do you know will fight for that one because of the mistake they made with something that didn't matter to them?
To me,
that's faithfulness. That's creating that energy to fight for it. Now, commitment, we are guilty. We're not committed. We're gonna be with multiple women. That's just who we are. We can't. That's nature. Nature created that. We didn't create that. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a coincidence that every single woman on this planet, if they have a problem with their spouse, it's over another woman. Think about it. Every chick that got a problem with their man is over another chick.
These are facts. This is where we start getting into real talk here. And I don't want people bringing up Christianity and their religion. No, we're gonna start being for real here. The same people, because Corey Holcomb would used to say the same thing. They would call him a heathen. They would call him, oh, you just don't have any discipline, by the Anton Daniels types. Meanwhile, Anton Daniels is doing the same exact thing. He got caught doing the same exact thing. And this is why he's mad at Corey, because he called him out for doing the exact same thing that he's doing, but then calling yourself a Christian afterwards and all this nonsense. So we're not going to bring no religion into this. We're gonna bring reality, right? We're not going to say, oh, he don't got no D discipline. But as soon as you guys start getting the same money, you guys start acting in the exact same matter. So we need to start being realistic about this conversation.
Okay, 99.9%. Do you think that's a coincidence? That ain't no coincidence. That's nature.
No, I don't like that.
I know you don't like it because unfortunately you never took the time to understand nature. Because listen, women, first of all, are the most smartest human beings on the planet. You guys can multitask better than anything and anybody on this world, right? One thing about women is that you guys know us better than we know ourselves. And you outnumber us. There's 15 women for every one man on this earth. You guys have all the attributes to run the world. Why don't you?
Let me rewind. What he said was so deep. What he said was so deep. But let me rewind what he said. What he said was just so deep.
I don't like that.
I know you don't like it because unfortunately you never took the time to understand nature. Because listen, women, first of all, are the most smartest human beings on the planet.
People, now he believes that. Now we might not think that. We might have our opinions on that, but look at what they get done. Hell, look at the WNBA. They got a raise. Did you hear what happened with the WNBA? They got a raise. They're not even making money. They got a raise. How? Because I told you how they were going to get a raise. They're just going to keep pushing the envelope. Now, they're never going to get equal pay, but they're always going to keep getting more money. They're going to keep getting, because they're just going to keep pushing for what they want. That's women's game. They're just going to keep pushing for what they want until the man gets eventually tired and he just gives in. That's usually how women get what they want, because most men are not willing to walk away from women. So it don't matter that the WNBA literally makes no money. They got a raise. And guess what? Guess who we actually have to blame for that? Men. All these dudes that's making all these videos talking about the WNBA is failing. It's a dying league. It's a joke of a league. But you're making 100 videos about the WNBA being a joke of the league. Guess what? You kept the WNBA relevant. You kept it. Men kept it relevant. You guys did. For hating on it for so long. Just to get your rocks off. Now, guess what? They got a raise. So I've been really reflecting lately and really seeing these things. We'll say women aren't smart, but I don't know. I don't know. They're not smarter than me. I don't know. I mean, women are, particularly I'll say white women, they're very savvy enough to where they can trick their men by acting like they've never been with anybody else, and dudes they'll just buy it. and from the outside looking in, I'm like, how are they getting away with this? Guys, there's people in the manosphere, the so-called people in the manosphere in the red pill space. A good percentage of them, they think that Rachel Wilson is a good woman. Now, to be cunning, that means there's a bit of a brilliance to being cunning. You know what I mean? So hey, it is what it is. Let's break it down. Let's break it down.
You guys can multitask better than anything and anybody on this world.
This is true. Women are the best multitaskers. They can never really, they're not satisfied in just doing one thing. They always got to have 3 things going on at once.
Right? One thing about women is that you guys know us better than we know ourselves. And you
Facts.
outnumber us. There's 15 women for every one man on this earth.
Facts.
You guys have all the attributes to run the world. Why don't you?
Interesting. All the things to get so-called equal rights, all the things, but they still want the men in charge because it's nature. It's nature. We are in charge.
Because have been things put in our, when we tried, they didn't vote.
Who's they?
Here we go with the excuses. Now she just basically sounds like a kid. But you see how Akon, he's not even phased by what she said. He's not even entertaining it. He's just dropping the facts.
The people,
no,
the men,
no,
the women.
It's more women than there is men. Even if no man voted for a woman, you all can still vote for that woman and she will win.
Yeah.
The problem is two things. And I promise you, the moment women solve these two problems, you guys will run the world's hands down. First, y'all don't stick together. That's the problem. That's the main root. You guys have to learn to stick together.
Yeah.
The day y'all stick together, y'all gonna run the world. That's number one. And number two,
they only stick together when it comes to defending 304 activity. But other than that, they don't. They actually, most women don't like each other. You know, they just only come together when like when it counts. You know what I mean? Like if it comes to defending a 304 or defending bad behavior in general, if they see a thought doing something scandalous, and then you have people, you know, they'll defend that. But in general, women, they don't really like each other. They really can't stand each other for the most part. And you even see it in politics. Orange Man got most of white women's vote. All that shit that they be talking is all cap. Most white women voted for Orange Man. They can talk all that shit in public, do all these marches. At the end of the day, most white women voted for Orange Man. This is some interesting stuff. Let me see what we got on the chat. Oh, XBY Jay-Z said, Chris, my first stream watching you was that CGA versus Rachel reaction. And you saw what was in the chat. It was a whole bunch of dudes defending Rachel. And I'm like, you guys cannot be this retarded, right? But all of women know, they know how to not necessarily act. They know how to placate to whoever they need to. So she knows that audience. She knows those type of dudes. She knows that, okay, I don't have any tattoos. I don't have any I don't got no face tattoos, no chest tattoos. All I gotta do is put on this Style & Co sweater, this little Style & Co shirt, wear these regular jeans, just look regular, normal, nothing crazy, and just repeat everything that my husband tells me to put, and then people are just gonna think I'm a good person. Like even the way women will dress for the occasion, they know exactly how to make themselves look like a model citizen. They know exactly what they're doing. They're very smart. So they're poor, gullible souls. Yeah. King Pig 6 says, yeah, it's why female leadership on a whole scale would never work, because they resent those men. Pyro, you caught that too, right? Where she's like, well, they are holding us back. And Akon was like, who is they? Hey, man. But it's almost like when you're watching this exchange, it's literally like a grown man talking to a child. If you notice this, it's very interesting. XVY Jay-Z said, I was so amazed seeing the Repubtard Simps cape for Rachel in the chat when you reacted to the debate. Yeah, like it's very interesting. He said, I lost respect for Rachel and Andrew once their personal business was exposed. Mind you, XVY, watch this. There's dudes on my channel that even before that situation, they didn't know that Andrew. So they didn't know that Rachel had 2 baby daddies previous to Andrew. They had no idea. They didn't know. I'm talking about people that follow this channel. And I was talking about this for a year. I was throwing shots at them for a year. For a whole year. I was putting that out there, and they just, it's like it goes out one ear and out the other. Right? Now I know if I was talking about if it wasn't a Rachel, it was a Raquel. If it was a Raquel, not a Rachel, they'd be like, oh yeah, of course she does. Yeah. Certain women, like women in general, but particularly we talking about Caucasian women, they know exactly what they're doing. They're very cunning. They're very diabolical. You know what I mean? They're very diabolical. And I saw this, close in person when I was a kid. So you can, like me personally, you can never tell me, oh, white women are this, but black women are this, or black women are this, but Latino women are nah. You can't tell me that. Women are women, bro. And this is why, like, even me, like, when it comes to me and white women in terms of the relationships I've had with white women, it's always been a love-hate type of a thing, because they would respect how I didn't really put them on a pedestal, but that at the same time, that was also the reason why they left. Because I didn't really see them as much of a, like, I didn't see them as this grand prize. I just saw them as, oh, this is a nice, pretty lady. She acts right. She knows what she's supposed to do. This should work. Right? So like the American white woman, if you're not giving them the attention that they feel like they should be getting from you, they'll eventually just fall back, and they'll be like, and they'll act like, oh, this guy, something's weird. He's weird and blah, blah, blah. Black women, they don't have the patience. They'll just call you gay, just straight off the rip if you're not accepting their advances. But white women, they'll do things because they already think eventually, you'll come to your senses. No. You're gonna do things my way? Absolutely not. I'll help you. I have no problem helping, people that are respectful to me. But in terms of anything else, you want me to claim you now? You want me to put you on my Instagram as this? No, that's not gonna happen. Anyway. King's Big Six says, he said, that's why I laugh when passport bros think going to Africa to get you a Keisha is any different. Yeah, I don't even understand. Like, I'm not saying don't go to Africa, but like, or how about this? I'll see certain dudes, they'll go to another country and then they will be going out with a single mom. I'll be like, why would you go through all this trouble to go to another country to just date the same type of woman but in a different skin? That makes absolutely no sense, But I will see stuff like this. Yeah, white women will be like, they will say, "Oh, you'll be back." Yeah, they'll. I've seen white women will do things where they just eventually think, "Oh, because I'm giving him pussy, or I'm doing this to him, or because I'm cooking for him, he's gonna be like, wow, I've never had a broad cook for me before." They just think that's just gonna be enough, and that's all they need to do. And then when you don't put them in that position of significance, then their true colors start coming out. And they have this entitlement where once they feel like settling down, now everybody has to settle down around them, right? And when you kind of push back against that and you're like, nah, I'm not with that, they act like something's wrong with you because you're not operating on their timeline.
Well, you know who a lot of people get, maybe upset with, like Nick Cannon and things like that.
Right.
I don't blame him in that situation because he's being honest. He's being forthcoming. He's being honest, right. And the women are choosing. So when you say they're being
upset at Nick Cannon, why? Why are they being upset?
Because multiple women, multiple children.
Who's more upset, the guys or the girls?
I think at this point, a little bit of everyone.
But if you could say the majority of that, which side is more upset? You think it's more of the women upset at Nick or more of the guys that's upset at Nick?
Probably the women.
The women?
Yeah.
Let's pay attention. Let's pay attention to this.
Do you think it's because they're jealous and not in that position?
No. What?
I'm just asking. I don't know.
No,
I'm just asking.
Absolutely not.
Because, you know, women got that jealous gene that they don't know how to get rid of. And I think that's the problem that holds you guys back. Because y'all would tear up the whole house.
Well, I think with him, he's honest and he's leading with that. So in that scenario, you're giving someone the opportunity to choose. You're not using emotion or jealousy or that, like, they're choosing for themselves. So I think there's a certain type of woman who will do that, and there's just a certain type of woman who would not.
Right. So the question was, why do you think more women were upset at Nick when he gave these women the option, the opportunity, and the blessing to share his life with him? You don't think it's because they're jealous of those women?
No, I don't think it's because.
So it's very interesting, because I always wonder, like, they'll always do a story. Oh man, Nick Cannon is doing this with his women. He has multiple women, and I'm like, so why are you guys upset? His life is not affecting your life. So I'm like, so the women that accepted his situation, the women that are in his life, they accepted his situation. So why are you guys upset with him? It's a logical. It's plausible to think, oh, these hoes are just jealous. It's plausible to think that way. It makes no others. There's no other choice here. Because why would you be upset at a situation that you're not even a part of? Oh, there's only a certain type of woman that would accept the situation. Okay, then. So you're not that type of woman. Then it shouldn't even be news to you. So of course, an Akon is an Akon type, or a man with a certain amount of status or money. He's just gonna be like, oh, these hoes is just, they mad for no reason. Exactly. He says they are afraid that more men will have multiple women and know our true power. They know that women way outnumber men. It's only logical that that men operate with abundance. The problem is, particularly in Western societies, the women act like the men, and the men act like the women. So the men don't operate in abundance, but the women do, even though women way outnumber men. You know, so now the way women are operating, they know it's not even this. It's a type of lifestyle they know they can't even sustain. They know this is a lifestyle of a man. So this is why they shame men for running. They always shame men for walking away from bad situations. They always try to shame. If a man says, no, I don't want to be a part of this, they get mad. It's interesting. Shout out to Cope Approach. Shout out to AKA Stefan in the chat.
Why would they be upset?
I think from what I see, it's the assumption or the feeling of creating multiple households and not being able to be available to, emotionally, at least.
No, it's not that. There's plenty of women that have 5, 6 baby fathers and 10 kids. It's not about, this whole BS about what's it, creating broken home. Nah, don't escape talking about let us know in the comments what you guys think. Nah, you have no comeback for the logic. You have no comeback for it. Cope Approach says the Pookie, formerly known as Tyrone, in the chat. Yeah, she upset, but it's all good, because she this, like I said, this type of woman, she'll be like, you only deal with a certain type of woman that would accept an arrangement like this. I'm about to show you guys something in a second to prove that she would be the same type of woman that would go for Akon. If given the opportunity, should join right in with the harem. I'm about to give you proof in a little while, because there's certain things that men peep about a woman, and we just keep it in our back pocket. We just don't say anything, right? They like women will talk about intuition and the women's intuition, but men never get the credit for the intuition that they got. Like, we'll see a pretty woman, right? Initially. And we be like, oh man, this bitch, oh man, she looking good or whatever. But as soon as she opens her mouth, it's like, damn. All right, let me just fuck this bitch and just get away from her. Because we'll make that snap. We will analyze that situation, and she will reveal herself to be a knucklehead just off of her speaking, and you're just like, okay, I know exactly what I'm dealing with here. All you gotta do is let her talk for just a little bit, not even that long, and then we literally put her in a category in our our little what's it, our little overlapping, not a pie chart, what's it, our Venn diagram. We have our little Venn diagram in our head. We have one circle, wifey material, the other circle, hoe, right, 304, just for fucking, right? And then right in the middle we have an overlap, right? You'll have a bitch that shows some potential, but she also has some knucklehead potential. But the reason why it's in both in the middle is because it's still kind of like, you know, she might give good head, so she's never going to go anywhere, even though she's a hoe. Right? So you kind of keep her right there in that category. And maybe she can make that circle. She can make it into that list, that circle of wife, potential wife. You know what I mean? But we can make these kind of judgments just like this. It's just that we don't get the credit for putting you in that category as soon as you open your mouth. Exactly. Eaters are on the forever roster. That's the thing. So you'll have a bitch be like, well, he always wants me around, of course, because he give good head. So you always are gonna, there's always gonna be a place for you. Now it's not gonna be as wife, you know what I mean? But we'll put you in the Venn diagram. We'll put you right in the middle, right? In the overlap of, obviously you can't be a wife, but since you're always gonna be there, it's gonna be damn near close. So we put you right, your name right in the middle, where wife and 304 overlap. So we'll keep you right there. Now, if you cause a little bit too much trouble, then we gotta just keep you to hoe, and then we'll see you when we see you. But we're not gonna. But if you do what you're supposed to do, we can keep you right in the middle, right there. And then we'll even pay you money to, you know, to be quiet. And by the way, remember, he was born in Senegal, right? So he wasn't born in America. So this is his mentality. This is the culture that he saw. Right? He grew up in a place where it was normal for a man to have multiple women or multiple wives and then a concubine here. You know what I mean? So he has a different type of mind, a different type of mindset when it comes to having a wife and having kids and assigning responsibilities to the kids literally at birth.
You walk into this situation, this is what I'm dealing with. This is the baggage that comes with you, and give her the option or the choice to decide if that's something that she want to deal with.
But this is something that where I will disagree with him, because he says most dudes are cowards in terms of they won't tell him. I'm here to tell you this. From what I've seen, women they know. They know the guys that they're into. They know most, I will say most of the women they know. Most of the women that are with certain guys, they know that the guys have multiple women, if not several women. They know this. They know this. That's the only thing I would disagree with. Especially in today's age, women will go out their way. I just don't like it when guys lie about it. No, they're not lying. From what I've seen, they're not lying. Nope. In fact, I'll even say it like this. I remember specific. I remember even my. I don't even want to put this out there, but I remember a male relative of mine was when he was in college, because he had a position of status at where he was. He was the president of the Black Student Union, whatever, at the college that he was at, and he said that the girls was literally telling him, "Yo, where your roster at? You need a roster." And he was confused. He's like, "I thought I'm just supposed to be with one woman, right? Because that's what he grew up seeing. That's just what he grew up in, a normal situation." But so the women already, even when it comes to they already expect certain types of dudes to have a roster, and then certain dudes that they know that are approaching them or sliding in their DMs, they can look at them and be like, "Oh, he don't got no motion. He don't got multiple women like that." So that whole thing about them, oh, they didn't know and they weren't given the opportunity. Cap, pure cap. Even in the past, when they talked about, oh, men were just walking away from their families. No. That happened to a few. But most women got to be honest. You got to be honest and be like, look, when I met this dude, he already had a woman. Most women are not brave. They're not brave enough to admit that, look, when I met my man, he had a woman. And most of them will meet their dude, and they already had a woman at the time. They were the side chick, and then you got upgraded when his main woman left him. You got upgraded, and now you want him to stop doing what it takes to get you in the first place, and you just want him to stop doing what he's doing because it's just you. Stop. Oh my goodness. Cope Approach said, a girl literally forgave me for cheating because the other girl looked better when I admitted to it. I've seen stuff like that happen before. In fact, I remember the high school that I was at. It was a dude that I knew. Very nice dude, by the way. Very nice dude. Always was respectful when I saw him. Like, I remember, like, he also went to the same college as I did. Like, he recognized me. Well, I'm talking about one of the top dudes at the school. He's, hey, I remember you from blah blah blah. And then you had all the other people from my high school acting like I wasn't shit. But he would always go out his way to show me love. Anyways, at that time, because he was around, I think he was like 6'7" or 6'8". He was like 6'6". He was like 6'6", right? He played basketball. When he was a senior at high school, the two prettiest Latina chicks, he was dating both of them at the same time. And I'm talking about this was not a secret. Like, he would literally be in the hallway. Sometimes he'd be brave enough. He'd have them both of them would be holding his hand in the hallway. I'm talking about these are the two prettiest Latina chicks at that school. Or I'll say it like that. These are the two prettiest chicks of his complexion at that school. I'll say it like that, right? They were both they were both they were both there, right? Because he probably had the highest status at the high school I went to at the time. Probably the highest. I don't know, maybe not the highest, but definitely one of the most popular. And then especially if you're the star basketball player and you at a certain height, you're just gonna have hoes. It is what it is. So he had those two at the same time. Like, these were his two main chicks. It was the two prettiest bitches in his class, and then on top of that, he had other hoes that he was messing with. From what I've seen, me personally, the women, they know exactly what they're walking. When things don't go their way, then they say that they were in a manipulative situation, they were in an abusive situation. I don't see that. I don't see that. And that same dude, I remember seeing him in college. And then one of these, and then I remember going into an elevator and this bitch is sitting there on her AirPods talking about this same ninja. And I'm like, I don't want to hear all this shit out loud in it, bruh. So I don't want to hear. They know exactly what's going on. They know exactly what they're walking into. King Pig 6 says a lot of the team women act out because lots of the average guys they're with can't cheat, and if they did, it would probably be with someone way worse. Yeah, that's a whole other story, right? And like I said, shout out to Akon and Corey Holcomb for being brave enough to defend Nick Cannon and his practices and his ways, because I really don't see him as doing something wrong. That's just my opinion. You know, everybody knows what they're signing up for. You know, that's just my opinion.
You said before, and I quote, in America, men think they're women and women think they're men as far as gender roles.
Yeah.
Can you expand on that a little bit?
Well, I mean, here, it's just like, America's like,
you know, they are in a position to fend for themselves. So a lot of the time, they're not meeting men who are on the same playing field, most likely.
But that's the thing, like a man and a woman will never be on the same playing field.
Yeah.
And education doesn't.
And thankfully, he didn't fall for that bait. Oh, we're the most educated, and we're not finding men on our level, bruh. And here, this is where he's gonna be like, "Yo, that's the point. You're not a man."
But that's the thing. Like a man and a woman will never be on the same playing field.
Yeah.
And education doesn't make you higher or more powerful than the man, or the fact that you got more money don't make his responsibility towards you something that you don't that's something that you should discount. Like I think when it comes to women, there's a certain level.
Same old tiring tropes. Because at the end of the day, all I could say is like, okay, and you chose to be in that situation. You didn't have to be in a situation like that. Now, unfortunately, women are facing the consequences of their actions, where you have normalized single motherhood, and now you're shocked when you got these dudes that grew up seeing women do certain things, and they expect you to pick up your weight because you said that you could do everything. Okay, let's see you do something. You know, so this is why, shout out to Akon, he's also going to dismiss this tactic very quickly.
Grandma do. They're
not the other way around.
Facts. Oh, hallelujah. Let me. Do I got something for that? Do I got something for that? I don't think I do.
Facts.
Say it again, man. Say it again, man. This is just the natural order of things right here. You know what I'm saying? This is the stuff that they're afraid to say in church.
That's the problem right there. If the man ain't the birthday, who's gonna be the one bringing the gifts?
No, the woman is the birthday.
Again, God created the woman.
Anybody that knows an actual successful woman, I'm not talking about the ones they say they're successful, they on TikTok capping. Like a real successful woman, it's very lonely. Even first of all, to be a successful man, you're gonna be lonely. But as a real successful woman, it's a lot of, if you're like an actual successful woman, and you're talented, especially I gave you the example earlier, you're not gonna actually have the friends that you need. You're not gonna have the support that you want. And the support that you get is not going to be from the guy that you think that you're going to get. Mr. Misogynist, Mr. Misogynist himself. Anytime when somebody has tasked me, hey, find me a talented female in anything, I always bring somebody that's actually talented than everybody else in the room. 2 times, especially I'll say recently, 2 or 3 times. I talked about this the bass player that I put her out there. Anyways, anytime I've been tasked, I actually bring the person that is the actual successful female. all the other dudes that get tasked with that, they be bringing somebody that they want to fuck. Or they think they got a shot with. But that is a whole other story for another day. But like an actual, like a successful woman is very lonely for them. And they wish, I'm telling you, they wish they had a man. They wish. It's just nature is what is what it is. XVY Jay-Z said her feminist side don't like hearing God's order. Facts. And mind you, this is I'm pretty sure this is a Christian woman, right? I'm 1,000% sure this is a Christian woman. Oh man. He says all the successful women in my family have husbands unless they are a widow. But or I'll say this, the real successful women in terms of the ones that are actually financially set, they all have husbands, right? So that's mostly going to be Asian families, right? Or Middle Eastern families. So they'll actually have the most successful woman that's like not in debt. You know what I mean? That's like not in debt, that's not in servitude, in indentured servitude. They will have a husband and a whole, family structure. You know what I mean? So that's another side of the game too. But when you're talking about like the average American woman, the ones that don't have a man, they wish, like they wish that they had a man. You know what I mean? Yeah, at least a BF or a companion. Yeah, they got something. They can't be.
I read some random facts about you.
Oh man, that's hilarious. What he did at the end, he said, "Nah, don't push that ish in Africa." Oh man, that's funny as hell. He said, "Don't start that shit." Have you ever talked to Middle Eastern women that live in, or like if like, because I remember I went to school with a girl, right? And I think I said it on this channel too. She was she was already scheduled to be married at 16 to a 31-year-old. So she was just basically, she had to just finish her junior year or her sophomore, her junior year. And then by the time the end of the junior year, they were just going to ship her to I think I don't know if it was Saudi Arabia or Yemen. I don't remember which country. It was either Yemen or Saudi Arabia. And they basically had her scheduled to be with the 31-year-old. And I remember like all of her classmates were like, "Oh my," like even me at the time was like, "Oh my gosh." I didn't understand. Dude, they have a certain way of doing things, over there, right? Their culture is their culture. And I remember people were even talking to her. They're like, "Wait, you're cool with this?" She's like, "Yeah, this is just what we do over there." She was like very unapologetic. She wasn't bragging about it. She didn't look happy or sad about it. She was like, "No, this is just what we do. This is the culture." Right? So it was very interesting because people were telling her like, "Don't you have a choice?" And she was like, "No." But you could just like not. And she was like, "No, I'm not gonna. No, that's not gonna happen. This is what I'm going to do." Only like in Western countries where where women are given like options and choices. No. Over there they keep it very simple. You're gonna do this at this age. You're gonna get married over here. You're gonna do this. You're gonna be with this family. Boom, 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 boom. We're not gonna leave it up to choice because look at what's happening over here when you leave hoes. When you leave it up to choice. They create a reality that they're not even going to hold themselves responsible for. But anyways, that's why, by the way, I think this might be the end of the interview, but let me play it a little bit more,
and we'll go from there. So I heard you and Nelly were besties, or you were friends in middle school
together.
Yeah,
in St. Louis.
Were you happy when him and Ashanti spun the block?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I can't really speak on it.
You've been linked to some industry women yourself, so just let me know what's true.
Okay, so I can relax with this one. So I got everything out of this one, but I want you, if you guys get the chance, because he dropped a lot of gems in this interview. Something that I'm gonna take home a lot of these things. And I'm now, like, after watching this interview, I'm really starting to think about, like, you know what, maybe I can start a label. You know what I mean? I was really starting to think, I'm like, man, you know, maybe what if I started a label? What's stopping me from starting a label? If it's just finances, okay. I know the people that I would sign. I will know so he goes into all of this stuff, you know, fame versus talent, you know what I mean? He went through all of this stuff. But obviously the thing that went viral was when he was talking about, monogamy versus polygamy. So if you guys get the chance, please watch that interview. Yep, he says them Asian households be getting to the bread. That's why the most successful families are the Asian families and the Indian. I'm talking about financially, the Asian families and the Middle Eastern families. They're making the most money because it's a complete combined group effort. That's a whole nother story for another day. Oh man. But I already know the normies, they got, yeah. Oh man. Oh. Well, it looks like, oh, by the way, I'm looking on Twitter right now. It looks like this Argentina casting case. It's gaining a lot of traction. This is very interesting. This is very interesting. Oh Lord. Oh my Lord. I'm looking at Twitter right now. It's filthy. It's filthy. Oh man, you should see. Actually, I'm not even gonna share that. Somebody showed a video. This woman videotaped herself having a quote unquote accident on the flight. She pissed on herself and recorded it. Good Lord. This is how old is she? This is ridiculous. I hope they find those nasty MFers. Oh, you should look at what I'm seeing right now. It's crazy. Just to show you I'm not making this stuff up. Just let me see if I can, because I don't want to share too much, but it's literally talking about a stunningly beautiful Russian woman on a long flight to China shared the moments when she cleaned her seat after having an accident. Actually, let me not even share too much. But this is disgusting. Never mind. Never mind. Yeah, my Twitter, right? Like, if you see what's on Twitter right now on my Twitter, this is filthy stuff. I'm looking at these captions. This is some filthy stuff. Dude, man, people out here dirty, men and women, just dirty. But anyways, man. Let's say, what time is it? Oh yeah, it's about to be 6:30, so I gotta head out. I'm about to head out. But let me just make sure I'm not missing anything on my bookmarks. So it looks like I'm finally gonna end on time. It looks like. Oh man. Let me see something here. 23-year-old woman looks pill, blah, blah, blah. See another old Akon video. Nope. I'm leaving that alone. I'm going to save these videos for another day. Oh, yeah, by the way, before I leave, let me show you this, though. Let me show you this. This is why, unfortunately, conservatives be having a bad name on the social medias. Here we have alleged Groyper influencer, Elijah Schaefer. I don't know why they're calling him a Groyper influencer. They said Elijah Schaefer's ex-wife just testified in court transcripts that he sexually abused a 16-year-old boy while serving as a youth pastor back in the day. Crazy. But this is also why, you know, I like this meme right here. Oh, Lord. But Elijah Schaefer, he's always been a dirty dude. So that's not even, you know, that's not surprising. That's why you gotta really be careful who you're following. But anyways, we can go on that. We'll talk about that on a later time. Elijah Schaefer's dirty ass. That don't even surprise me. But anyway, shout out to you guys. Do I have an outro video? Oh, no. Let me see if I got my Corey Holcomb thing set up. Yo. Because I remember the last episode that had came out. He said something hilarious. Powers that the Lord said, "You're a bad boy. Here, apply the holy water." Wait, this is baby oil, man. I'll tell you, man. These pastors out here, boy. These priests, good Lord. I don't know, man. Something wrong with these people.
Now he's admitting it. Wow.
Because once I get up, I'm working. Once I get up, I'm working. Thanks, Mike.
Of course.
I appreciate you. They was like, hold on, we got to check something.
Yeah. We're trying to make sure.
Right. And then later on, it was like, all right, it's cool. We got it. You sent them this, right? People who are in power of this country are directly making your stuff link to the site where they take theirs first and give you yours. Just like with this.
It works for that.
I don't think it makes me a good man, but I know I help a lot of people. Government like this.
You know, that's the purpose of technology.
So if I do go out, I'm going out with a bang. I'm getting one off.
Oh, you gonna beat off? Oh, you finna kill me. Ah!
Online. Do we know what that means when we say create the narrative? I got to say it what people can know. They will make you think one way about something by turning it and saying it in a way where, bam, that ain't even what's happening. It's okay. It's not on the corner of Sepulveda and Magnolia. Somebody say my phone heard you. Since they can't find nothing else, people are going to say, look what he said. Women who need to be saluted because they are part of, I don't care if that's your baby. But guess what? That ain't even your baby.
Is courage or is it ignorance? Ignorance is bliss.
No, I don't
Listen. She really does have issues.
Right.
She be high. She everywhere she went, this has happened. But because they watching him.
Right.
Because the oldest.
Right. And some niggas is the
people that you know will set you up and have you doing too much when life is already too hard. So the people that have you doing too much, you have to realize I gotta set boundaries with this person.
That's who leader, right?
It's over with.
So anyway, it's being put on by Most Valuable Promotions, which is his. So it's gonna be here at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. So
I wish him well with that.
Oh yeah, I remember they were also talking about that fight, that Jake Paul Promotions that they're gonna put on. That's gonna be rigged as hell.
He was fucking the bitch. He had access to her house.
Right. But after he got fired, that's when he went over there to say that you.
One day, this girl I was fucking with, she said something slick to me. I know her gate code and everything. And when I got up to the door, I opened it. I didn't knock first, and it was open.
People he paid.
Imagine some pussy motherfucker telling you what the fuck you supposed to be doing with your wife. That's what happened when you get jammed up. You be like, ooh, ooh.
That's that.
Ooh. I know that hurt.
Sheesh. So anyway,
He didn't even get him a bad white girl. That's like,
which one is his wife?
the one in front of him. They walking
Out here bad. They gonna make a documentary about here's Corey being out here bad, driving too fast with his car. Because them cameras work good, boy.
Yeah.
Oof.
Them cameras work good. The only thing with them cameras that stop when they were sending you tickets with the other person in your car.
Oh yeah, by the way, I just got a notice in the mail. So this is what I'm gonna do before I sign off. I'm gonna tell you this. I got a notice in the mail. They have these cameras now where if you're going too fast, they have you recorded and then they just basically mail you a ticket. And you don't even know where these cameras are. It's just you were speeding in this particular place. We took a picture of your license plate. Here's a $55 fine. You're just like, what the fuck? So now, like, this country is just there's nothing to respect about America anymore. Where basically now they got these cameras and they can just picture you speeding over the limit, and then they will just mail you a ticket. It's literally the ticket that I got is like, oh, you went 55 and a 35. I'm like, the fuck is this? I'm like, what in the hell is happening in this country? Like, where basically they could just put cameras up, picture you speeding, and now I gotta pay for that. It's not a cop that caught you speeding. It's some automatic camera. What the? Honestly, when I got that ticket, that might be the last straw. I gotta find a way to leave America. Like, I can't do that. I can't live in a country that does something like that. I can't. I can't do this. Like, when I saw that in the mail, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm sitting there like, so I gotta pay this because a camera caught me speeding somewhere. I don't even know where this camera is. I went 55 and a 35. Okay, the fuck? This is not from a police car. This is from an automatic camera. This is the stuff that people vote in, mind you. This is the stuff that people will vote have voted in. And they tell me that my vote matters and stuff like this, but this is the stuff that people will vote in. Absolute nonsense. But anyways, shout out to you guys. I'm gonna hit you with that outro video. The Corey Holcomb one right here is very appropriate. Because this is exactly what this stream was about. Shout out to you guys, man. Take care and peace.
Exactly.
I was with Floyd Mayweather. When I met him, I couldn't believe it. Floyd was like, hey, what's up, man? This my fiance, this my girl. They was both standing right there. That's what paper do, boy. You got that paper, people fall in line.
I don't care if it's...
Now, it's a shame that people fall in line because of the paper, but this is a fact. If you got that paper, you can bring your whole family to the barbecue. Not the family you had. I'm talking about if you got that bread, you can bring everybody to the barbecue and demand they act like they got some goddamn sense. That's my boy about her. That's my boy about him.